reality. We experience, our brains sort of filtering everything we see, hear, feel, touch, but also predicting what's about to happen. And that's why a lot of times, we feel like anxious or whatever it is. It has to do with the brain's predicting kind of something that's upcoming. And so I think that feeling of being stuck is quite normal and natural. And I just want to say that first, but also understanding which area you're stuck in, right? And I'm going to take it an interesting direction right now, but I like to talk about procrastination because it's a good example of feeling stuck, right? So if let's say you have a goal and you're like starting a podcast and you're like, okay, I want to do it. And then you're procrastinating it, right? So I always say that there are 3 reasons why people procrastinate. And the first reason is there's an identity sort of mismatch. And what I mean by that is that your sense of self and who you believe that you are doesn't match with you working toward the goal of launching a podcast. And this actually kind of resonated with me personally whenever I was starting to write a book. I was procrastinating writing my book and I was like, why am I doing this? I know it's a goal. I know I want to do it, but I don't know why I'm procrastinating. And the default mode network in the brain is really what's at play here. So the default mode network is really appropriately named because it kind of helps to regulate and propel our default mode of behavior, right? So it's responsible for our default mode of being and doing. But it's also responsible for our sense of self and constructing the narrative or the story of our lives. And so if your sense of self doesn't match, if your identity doesn't match whatever it is that you're trying to do, then your default mode network is not really going to be helping you do the behaviors or take the action toward starting a podcast. And so I always tell my clients, I tell my students, I tell everyone on social media, I'm like, just identity shift, shift your identity. You can just start to identify as the version of you who has done the thing. And so that's kind of the first part of that. And then the second.
Let's talk about that first one. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. And I love the way you broke down the default mode network because this identity mismatch that you're talking about, are you saying that if you don't, I know you've said something which I love. You said science says you have to act like you already have it before something can happen. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying? That you've got to feel like I'm already an author, I'm already a podcaster? How does someone practically apply that identity to make sure it's aligned?
Right. So it's really just choosing to identify as that person, right? And so when I say that, you have to act like you already have it or like you already